guys, I wanted to do a get ready with me video showing you a bunch of the new products that I picked up from my Sephora haul video in the last one. This has just kind of been my everyday makeup routine for keeping my skin really glowy and luminous looking. I wanted you to see the foundation, the Laura Mercier Candle Glow foundation, because I am obsessed with it. And I'm also showing you from like beginning of when I first cleansed my face, like the skincare that I use prior to makeup application. And a couple other glowy products and new products, a new lip product from Makeup Forever, and just really simple eye makeup. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you want to see this makeup look and get ready with me, then keep watching. Nothing on my face, just some clean skin, and I'm gonna start out with these Glow Tonic Pads from Pixi. I love these, but I don't like them as much as I love the First Aid Beauty Radiance Pads, but these are really good. Not to say they're not a good product, I just want to use these up before I repurchase, but something like this, like a quick daily exfoliator, I just love, and I feel like it really makes a difference with just prepping your skin and getting it ready for makeup. You can find these at Target. They're obviously a little bit cheaper than the First Aid Beauty ones, and you can use them day and night. I'm going to spray some of this Caudalie grape water. Oh my god, that feels so good. And then I'm going to put a little bit of my First Aid Beauty Triple Eye Remedy Eye Gel underneath my eyes and around. Get rid of those nasty fine lines. I feel like too, when you use some kind of face spray or something like that, it just makes everything else after go on so much easier. And for the moisturizer, I'm using the Drunk Elephant La La Retro Whipped Cream. I just use one little pump of it around my nose is like where I really notice my skin being super dehydrated, just like dry, and my forehead. And I apply some SPF, and I just have a product that I got from my local medical spa. It just has, it's just SPF 50, it has some green tea in it, and it's a little bit tinted. None of the lotions and the foundation that I'm using has no SPF, and as much as I would rather not have one extra step like this, I don't ever leave the house without SPF. Okay, so while that's kind of soaking in, I'm going to do my eye makeup before I start with my face. And I'm going to start out with Benefit Stay Don't Stray as my eye primer. Just a couple dabs on each eye. Even out the skin tone and keep your makeup from creasing. I'm wondering if you guys can hear church bells. There's a church like across the street and that way. And it's one of my favorite things about living here is you just constantly hear church bells, but I don't know if they're loud enough for the video to pick them up. All right, keeping my eyes super simple. I've really been loving like a bronzy, smoky brown eye, and it just, I think, flatters my skin right now. So I'm using the Single Shadow in Black Honey from Clinique. I'm actually gonna just apply it with the little applicator that comes with it. I normally get rid of these, but I like it for just putting on like a once over shadow on the lid. I wouldn't really use this to like do any blending work, but just to kind of apply the color, I don't think they're too bad. This Black Honey shadow is so pretty. I think any eye color could pull this off. I especially think blue and green eyes, it would be the most flattering. But then I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush. This is a really old one from Sigma. It's an E40, and I'm going to blend to soften that a little bit. It will also lighten it so it's not so dark on your eyelid unless you want to keep it dark. So out of breath all the time. I have to do so much like cuts in my edits because I'm constantly like I feel like even when I'm not pregnant, I'm very short breath. I notice it the most in my videos. I never really notice it in life when I'm talking to people, but in my videos especially, it's so annoying, especially to edit. Okay, and then in the crease, I'm going back to one of my favorites. This is Galapagos from NARS. I'm using a super old Bodyography brush. This has a little bit of gold flecks, but they're pretty subtle. And it's just a really good complementary color to any brown, tan, beige lid colors. And I'm applying it, as you can see, really lightly. I'm not going for dramatics here, just an everyday, it's a Sunday, keeping it simple. And for my eyeliner, I'm using my little bitty baby Teddy Eye Kohl from MAC. I probably should chuck this. Like, it's kind of crazy how small it is, but I just love using up products. There's just something very satisfying, and still works perfectly, so I'm not ready to chuck it yet. I probably have like 4 sharpenings left before I get to the edge. A couple days last week, I was putting on some black gel liner. I just kind of missed it because I use this one constantly. This one and the Estee Lauder Double Wear Burgundy Suede. Those are like the only 2 I've been using forever. So last week I tried black gel liner for a couple days, and I don't know if it's just because I haven't worn gel liner in a while or I just am over it, but I was like, oh, like I almost wanted to take it off. It just didn't look good on me, or like I said, I just felt like it wasn't flattering. I don't know. So that's it for my eyes. I'm gonna wait to do my mascara because sometimes I find that when I do my mascara and then I put powder products on, sometimes the powder gets trapped in my eyelashes, so we're gonna save that for last. Before I put my foundation on, I have been so obsessed, could not wait to tell you guys about this. This is the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer, and it smells heavenly, it feels really good, and it gives your skin like an overall glow. If you're comfortable without going out of the house without makeup on, but you want your skin to just like radiate, this is freaking awesome stuff. And I know I already just said it, but it smells so good. It's not a primer where it's like a silicone, slippery, like pore filling. It's just like a very luminous, feels so incredibly good on the skin. You could just get away with this and an SPF. I obviously use the Drunk Elephant moisturizer just for an extra step, but this technically is a moisturizer, so if you wanted to eliminate one of the steps and just use like this in your SPF, you could certainly do that, but I just find, for me right now, the more moisture my skin can get, the better. So amazing. Like, I freaking love this stuff so much. Awesome stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start now. We're gonna make the skin a little bit bearable. I currently don't have any breakouts. That'll probably last today. But I do have scars left behind from other breakouts that I had. I'm gonna be using the Laura Mercier Candle Glow foundation, but because this isn't a really full coverage foundation and I do have these scars, some don't really bother me, but like this one's pretty new and I have like one on my forehead. I do want to cover it up with a little bit of concealer for a little coverage. And I mentioned this on Snapchat. This is the Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer. I know this has been around for a while, but the company sent it to me pretty recently and it's so good. I don't use this under my eyes. I actually haven't been using any concealer under my eyes because I find any concealer that I use, and no matter how hydrated, I get that under eye area. I have one little bitty fine line under this eye that it always kind of settles into. So for super creamy concealers like this one, I avoid the under eye area. However, it's a great spot treatment. I've also used this like as my foundation for the day for just like a really light coverage. Like, it's enough to cover your scars and even out your skin. If you guys like the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, I would compare them almost identical in the texture, the consistency of the product, and the staying power, and obviously the coverage. I have this in the shade Light Beige. They have a ton of shades. It's like with the IT, you probably can't even see this, a little bit goes such a long way. And I just do little dabs and I just kind of blend it with my finger over those spots, up around my nose, anywhere I'm like red, chin. And that already just does like so much with just such a little amount. And And honestly, even if I just do that with the primer, the coconut primer, it's enough for me to feel confident enough to go out of the house without putting foundation on. The coverage is so great with this. Not too worried about like blending that in really well because I'm going to blend it with the foundation. But like I said, that's to me enough to go out of the house looking confident, feeling confident. Okay, so for the Candle Glow foundation, I mentioned this in my Sephora haul when I got this. This is an awesome foundation. It is a very luminous finish, but it's not heavy coverage, though it is buildable. So you'll see like in these spots, if I didn't use concealer, I could go back a couple times with it and just cover up a little bit more. I haven't tried this with anything other than this brush, and this is the Sephora 55 airbrush, which I know looks a little bit different now. This is such an old brush. You guys might remember it because there was a time on YouTube that everybody was raving about this brush, and for good reason. Because of the bristles on this, I feel like with this foundation it's a match made in heaven. I think a brush like this with synthetic hairs and that's not super dense, like I don't think a flat top kabuki style brush would be good with this foundation, but something like this that's like fluffier but synthetic, I think is definitely the way to go. It keeps the foundation from looking really cakey too. I just do about 3 bitty pumps on the brush, and I just kind of like speckle it on my face before I start blending it in. I have tried this brush with my Estee Lauder Double Wear. I didn't like the results. So it's definitely the foundation. It just definitely depends on the foundation that you're using. But then again, I think with a beauty blender, I think this would be too much. And it's hard to explain. I finally brought water because lately I've been getting coughing fits. I'm filming. It's actually not water. It's one of those LaCroix. They're like seltzer waters with all natural sugars. I love them. It's been really great for days that I still have like nausea, because as much as ginger ale really helps me, it's just I don't like anything with high fructose corn syrup. It makes me cringe. And so I switched over to this stuff, which is good. They have a lot of flavors. I really like the coconut and the peach pear. I love this brush. It was sitting in my drawer for like a year. I do that. I don't get rid of any of my brushes because I feel like I go through phases where I'm really into a brush and then I'm like not ever using it. And I keep them. Thank God I do, because this brush is so perfect with this foundation. I've just been using my banana powder for underneath my eyes to avoid some creasing, even with the foundation, just very lightly, and it brightens. And then I've really been loving, since using this new foundation, I don't want to then take like a really matte powder and cover up all the luminosity. So I've really been enjoying the Hourglass, I don't even know, the Ambient Lighting Palette with Dim, Incandescent, and Radiant, because these aren't a really flat finished powder. And I just take a brush and I kind of just go over all 3 of them and just lightly set. And I love this because it doesn't take away the finish of that foundation. Probably get away with not setting the foundation if your skin's not oily, but I do like the added glow that these powders give. A little bit of bronzer. I do prefer a matte bronzer, especially when I'm using a luminous foundation, because you just don't want to look too glowy in the middle of winter. And I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil milk chocolate. Or is this just the original? Yeah, I think that's just the original. Chocolate Soleil. It smells phenomenal. And my favorite bronzer brush, this is the Studio Gear number 11, and I just do light on the cheekbones. I should say under the cheekbones, forehead, down the nose. You see I really didn't go back in to do too much, just a little bit. Bring it down my neck. As I've been cleaning out my makeup, I've been kind of like purging blushes. And I rediscovered this one that I forgot I had. This is by Burberry, and it's their Earthy Blush number 7. Kind of reminds me of NARS Madly, but except it is more matte and has a really soft powdery finish. Madly has like those shimmery flecks in it. But I am obsessed with this blush, and it's just been like hiding under all my other blushes. I can't remember the last time I've used it before I like rediscovered. Another little oldie but goodie that I started using again is my NARS Yaccio brush. There was so much hype surrounding this guy too for so long, and this was another one that I pulled out when I pulled out that Sephora airbrush. Forgot that I had this one. But I love it for a really soft finish for blush. So good. It's like such a little delicate brush, and you would think it would be too delicate to where it like won't last you. But those of you that have been with me for a while know how long I've had this brush, and I've washed it several times. I was using it for a long time there before I retook it out again and discovered it, and it still looks awesome. For some highlight, again, not to powder down my face, I'm using my favorite liquid highlighter, which is by Rodial, and it's in the form of like one of these twist ups, and I just apply with my finger to my cheekbones and like up towards the edge of my eyebrow. I know you can't get this on their website anymore, but I think you can still get it at Planet Beauty. But if you have like Benefit High Beam or any liquid highlighter, I think when you're using foundations like the one I used, it's important to just stick to a liquid highlighter. And then I always take this one up under my brows. I think I'm out of this one. This is one of the products I have in my backup case. I think I have like 2 or 3 of them because I never wanted to be without it. I'm curious to know if anybody that's pregnant or it's been pregnant ever experienced like issues within your ear canal. I went to the ENT last week because my left ear, and I don't know if it has anything to do with pregnancy, but it's something that I've been dealing with for a while, but just something that I notice a lot more since being pregnant. It almost like my hearing, I hear a pop and then I can hear my voice almost like too clearly. Like I can hear every breath and every chew, and when I'm talking, like I just sound so different in this ear than I do in this ear. And it's so weird. And I had the ENT look, and she's like, your canals are completely clear, but she thinks it's definitely like a, I think she said like a conduction issue, but nothing that they could see. She just thinks because when you're pregnant, there's like fluids and stuff moving around. But it is the most annoying thing because I hear like, I just hear it too clearly, and therefore I feel like I'm shouting almost in person, and like Dan, so therefore I whisper, not whisper, but I like really talk lightly, and it drives him crazy because he's like, speak up, I can't hear you. But I'm like, when I speak up, I feel like I'm shouting. It's weird. If anybody else has experienced that, let me know, or if you have like a way to fix it, that would be great too. For my eyebrows, I'm almost done with this product. I can't even twist it up anymore. This is the Tristique Espresso eye pencil. So funny, I found out too when I went to the ENT that my left nostril is like deviated. I have a deviated septum. It was like the first time, and I'm 32, that I ever even knew. I was like, how does that happen? And she said you could have been born with it, or you had like an injury, but I don't remember an injury. I feel like I'd remember like a ball to the nose or something. I don't remember. This is a Makeup Forever. It looks like a toothbrush. I talked about this on Snapchat recently, and I got this, I think, from the Makeup Forever website. It's, again, a brush I've had forever that I forgot I had, but it's awesome. It's a little bit, I think I like it a little bit better than the spoolie. Anyway, so she said there's like a surgery you can get done to fix that, but I kind of like my nose. I don't want to have like a nose surgery done, but she said if it's not affecting me, like I don't really have congestion or like sinus issues where I've ever noticed it before. I was like so surprised when she told me that. It's interesting. But then it made me start thinking that maybe that is all related. It's like all connected, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna finish off with mascara. This is by Inglot. And it's one of those comb brushes to lengthen. And then I'm gonna go over it with my Superhero. Still using New Lash, but I decided that I think I'm gonna get lash extensions again before the baby's born and keep them up for my wedding. Or a little high maintenance when I had them. It's definitely not something I'd wanna like upkeep for a year or anything, but I think for a few months to just like make life a little bit easier, it's worth it. And there's this new place, well I don't think it's new, but it's a place I just heard about by my house where there's this girl that works there that's like supposed to be some faux lash guru, so it would be really cool to have her put a set of lashes on me. And then this is the Superhero by It Cosmetics. I'm just going over it. And this stuff's awesome, and it kind of like volumizes your lashes. I really don't feel like I need false lashes, especially thanks to New Lash, but I just think if I could just save myself from like having to put my mascara on every day with a newborn, why not? And I didn't do my bottom lashes. Feels so weird without mascara on my bottom lashes. Before I do my lips, I'm using the Pixi Glow Mist with propolis and argan oil, whatever that is. You have to shake it up. It's really good stuff. Sets everything. A nice little scent to it. My lips, I'm using one of the new Makeup Forever Artist Liquid Matte colors. This is in the shade 203. They sent me all of them. I think I'm gonna do a whole video. I keep saying that, but I literally have like 4 product releases from Makeup Forever that I need to get into a video. They sent me all the shades. Most of them are pretty nude, like nude pinks. This is the brightest, like the most colored one. It's like a really pretty berry color. It reminds me of like Sephora's Marvelous Mauve, or it's pretty close to, it's a little bit more berry than my favorite Dose of Colors Stone. I think I'm going to do a video where I can swatch them all on my lips so you can actually see. But that is it for my winter glowy foundation routine, my little everyday routine. Jazz. I don't know what I'm doing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye. I don't really have like just a hydrating mist. All the other ones that I have are to set your makeup. So I was excited to try this, and surprisingly enough for Caudalie, it was a very good price point. I think it was about